Hey guys, how are you all? And thank you so much for being here. Today we have a very special episode, and we're going to be diving into the topic, especially for beginners, for newbies, for people who are looking to take their HYROX game up a level. I'm going to be going through with you today, right? The how to structure your HYROX training. So again, from a beginner level, right? Now, the thing is with beginners and even advanced, even the elite, right? There's not a lot of differences when it comes to the structure of training, right? Training itself, it's based on principles. Now, these principles are simple and easy by nature. Just when you're looking and you're playing down the elite side of things, they do a lot more of it, right? And the volume's a lot more. But again, the structures are very, very similar. So what we're going to do is we're going to strip it right back to a beginner level, right? So if you're a beginner, intermediate, or even if you're someone who is quite advanced, you might be missing some holes in your training program from a basic point of view, from a beginner point of view. And that's maybe why you're not making the progress you want to make, and you keep just pushing hard and you keep trying to do more, but you're just not quite getting the improvement you need. So guys, we're going all the way back down to foundations today. And the insights I'm going to give you today, I'm going to be able to help you structure your training. I'm going to help you feel confident in the structure so you can go and know you're on the right track, on the right path to HYROX success. All right. How cool is that? So let's dive into this, guys. So first we've got to understand, like, what is the problem? Like, why do we need structure? Why when people are looking to get into HYROX, why do we need to create a structure first? All right. And what are some of the problems that I guess I see as a coach and that I help coach people through? Okay. So this might be you. It's like number one, HYROX. Geez, it is overwhelming to say the least, right? Where to start, what to do. All right. We know we got to get out and run. We know we got to lift weights. Then we got to learn all the movements. Then we got to learn the event. And then we got to make the progress every week. And then what is priority? What comes first? What kind of running do I need to do? What the hell is zone two? My friends are doing this. I saw this on Instagram. Okay, it gets overwhelming. But again, because there's a lot that you can focus on, the how-tos. There's so many how-tos, but again, the principles, there's a few principles. So we're going to cover that today. All right. Another problem that I see a lot of people face, and this could be you, this might be where you're stuck, right, is you're inconsistent with your training, right? So again, strength, running, HYROX specific, right? So by the time you just do all three, number one, are we doing them all three? But then are we doing each of them consistently as well? Like you might run this week, but you might miss it next week. And then you might do a different type of run the week after, miss it again. And then we're wondering why we're not making the progress in our running, right? Where things are changing. Again, with strength training, I did a lot of weights this week. I didn't do much last week, or HYROX again. So we need to create consistency in our training, because you don't need to do a lot of things, but if you just do the basics consistently week by week, it is the easiest way and the fastest way to make progress. It is that simple. I'm going to show you how to do that today. All right. Overtraining, undertraining, right? Either side of that spectrum, right? It's very common. When people gear up for HYROX, and geez, do I see it? Like how excited people get, the excitables, right? And people just go at it. It's like, geez, got HYROX 12 weeks away, 10 weeks away. And then they train like a high level elite athlete for about 1 to 2 weeks until they burn out or get injured or do something, right? And also, I see people, it sort of goes a little bit hand in hand, is we see people undertrain. We see people not training like long enough. Like they leave it too late. They are undertrained. And then sometimes when they commit to it, they either just are too busy at work. It's not a priority. They miss sessions. And again, they only really gear up 4 weeks out. But by that time, you're undertrained. Then potentially, then you go into overtraining, and you're going to cause again 2 problems there. Okay. And what we're going to do here today, again, it's a lack of knowledge. It's a basic lack of understanding. Again, a lot of us are focusing on too much of the how-tos, right? Just thinking that, where we're just not thinking about the basics, the principles that we need to implement. So today we're going to help, create some knowledge for you, right? so you can get a better understanding. How good does that sound? So if that sounds like you, if you are someone, let's spin it the other way. If you're someone that does not want to be overwhelmed, you want clarity, you want certainty, you want to know that what you're going to do is going to help you make progress, that's what we're going to do on the call today. If you want to create consistency, if you do not want to train 5 to 6 days a week, but you want to just have a very manageable training schedule that you can just consistently perform and do week to week to get the maximum result, we're going to do that today. If you don't want to overtrain or undertrain, if you just want to be in the sweet spot, that's what we're going to help you find there today, right? And we're going to increase your knowledge. So if you're someone that feels like you're just a bit, just a bit green, you just a bit don't know exactly what everything's happening in your training and HYROX, we're going to help you get educated so you can now become an expert at HYROX. Okay. All right, guys, let's dive into it. Point number 1. Okay. This is a big one. Now, this is one that I always refer back to, especially when things get a little bit chaos. When I'm busy at work, I'm busy with life, is I have to go back to my goals. And if I'm gearing up for a HYROX, right, and I've set the goal, then the first thing I need to do is I need to create what I call a no matter what schedule. Okay. So a no matter what schedule. So what that is no matter what, I am going to commit to this training week or these sessions this week, no matter what, right? Now, when we set a no matter what schedule, right, this is all in line with the biggest thing that I can say will help you make the progress that you're looking for. And that is being consistent, right? Consistency is key, right? So when we can create a no matter what schedule, it's important that we start by doing like the minimum, okay? The minimum, all right? Now, a planned minimum, right? So again, it's going, okay, this week, I'm not going to, think about just trying to do the maximum that I can do. I'm going to go, okay, well, if I can do 3 sessions this week, it might even be 2 sessions, right? But it's a no matter what, it's a non-negotiable, right? It is like, whatever is going on in my life, these sessions must be done. That's the minimum commitment that you've made to yourself. But you've also logically going to think about it a little bit and go, well, as long as I do these as a minimum, I'm going to be making the progress that I want. So we've got to start there. We've got to start with a no matter what schedule, right? Again, to create consistency. Now, this is, again, for beginners, but again, same, even with the advanced people, sometimes they're just like trying to train every day, but they're not thinking about what's the minimum I actually got to do and what's my no matter what, right? So that is going to be the starting point, okay? So after that, so we've created no matter what schedule, all right? Now we got to plan the sessions that are important to start to go, okay, Damien, like no matter what, but what sessions now are important for me to put onto that schedule, okay? So when we're looking at the week, we got to look to the things that we know are needed and are required for HYROX, okay? So number 1 is you got to have endurance, right? And in particular with the running. So your ability to run a long distance. So HYROX, it's just under 9 Ks by the time you take in the rock zone of running. So we got to factor in 1 long run a week. All right. Now, from a beginner point of view, you have to work on this aerobic fitness first. Your ability to go long and slow is absolutely imperative. So 1 long run a week, okay, is going to be on our no matter what schedule. Okay. Second thing that we got to do is we've got to move some weights. We've got to lift weights. HYROX is also strength stations, right? So we've got to be strong. So you got to be doing some form of strength training. Now, no matter who you are, you can't be super high and intense and do all this like, really fast station work if you don't have base level strength, just like the running. If you want to be a really fast runner, you got to have the ability to first be able to run slowly. So with strength training is important. Now that might just be going into a gym, doing some bodybuilding style movements or doing some more controlled functional style movements, right? Before you go into higher intensity type work. So strength training is an absolute pillar. It's going to keep your muscles strong. It's going to keep your body moving well, right? And it's going to give you the strength required to get through HYROX. And also strength training will also help keep you in great running form because running is quite strenuous on the body. So making sure that you have strength will actually help you run as well, right? Be a better runner. So strength training. So that's the second session, right? The third session that I believe should be on your no matter what schedule, because we are doing HYROX, is a HYROX specific station. So we have endurance, we have strength, and now we've got to meet that in the middle and do a HYROX style session. So this is a little bit more of a circuit. This is if you're going to F45, BFT, United Training Grounds, if you're following our program, doing a session that is higher intensity, but also incorporating the HYROX style movements is something that you need to be doing to start to replicate HYROX event, or else you're going to get to the day and you're going to be a little bit deconditioned for the event. Okay. So guys, really simple. We're creating a schedule, no matter what schedule, the minimums. Those are your 3 sessions: long run, strength session, HYROX specific session. Okay. So I believe everyone here, everyone listening to this, if you're doing a HYROX, right, these are the 3 sessions that I believe are an absolute minimum and that you can find in your week. What days and that's what you can organize to best suit your calendar, your schedule. But knowing if I'm not getting in these 3 sessions minimum, that you might be on the back foot and you might not be doing what is required to have your best HYROX, right? That's fair to say, right? I believe it is. Now, third point I'm going to add here. So this is not now the no matter what schedule, because we're talking about structure for HYROX, a beginner's guide to help you, again, get in the best shape. Now, I would recommend that if we're doing a 4th session, so getting in 4 sessions, and I think for most people, if you're training 4 times a week, right, you're getting in pretty good shape. I'd say 3, we're probably a little underdone. Do you need to go to 5? Well, not really. I think 4 is the sweet spot. So, and now you can take the pressure off yourself, right? Because sometimes we put pressure on ourselves. We try to put, the 4 sessions there, and then we feel bad if we don't do it. So now that we got 3 sessions that we know no matter what, this 4th session is going to be you now really, taking a step forward, making the progress you want to, and doing the most you can with your training week, right? So the 4th session. Now, what style of session do we do on this 4th session, right? So what I would recommend is whatever you believe is your weakest point, okay? I would do that as an extra session. So if you feel like running, if you're not a runner and running is a weak spot and you need to get better at running, I would then look to do 2 runs a week. Okay. So you got 2 runs a week, you got 1 strength session, and you got 1 HYROX specific session, right? So again, HYROX specific, it's a mix between conditioning and strength, right? So we're training the body really well, but you're working on that weakness. If you're someone who's a great runner, you don't necessarily need to get better at it, right? Then you should maybe focus more on strength. Maybe, the sled push and pull is really, really hard and you're a bit worried about the strength stations. Then you should be lifting some more weights and getting stronger, right? Maybe you're like pretty good at running, pretty good at strength, and you just feel like you just want to, more intensity. You need to, learn to go faster and put it all together a bit more. Then you can do that HYROX specific session, right? That is a great way that I would look to add that 4th session into your week. Okay, guys, it's that simple. This is simple. It's simple, right? So again, what we're looking at, right, the pillars that you need in your training. We're looking at what is needed in your training week to have the right structure to make the right progress. So again, overview. We have 1 long run. We have a strength training session. We have a HYROX, so high intensity type session, right? As a minimum, bang, we're working on all the pillars there. Then we're working on an extra session, okay? It's on your weakness. Guys, I don't even need to explain this any further. It is that simple. Now, what kind of session? How long do I run for? Intervals, all this kind of stuff. These are the how-tos now. But if you just take it, go 1 long run, whatever is long for you, do that, okay? Long, zone 2, we would say that's what you got to be doing. So that could be 20-minute run for you, could be a long run. 60-minute run could be a long run for you, but it's got to be something that you can still talk, right? And typically hold a conversation, okay? Strength session, again, we're lifting weights in a controlled manner, okay? Not high intensity functional group fitness. That is not strength training, all right? That would fall into our HYROX or our HIIT style session, okay? And again, understanding that, that's where strength and conditioning come together, meet it. So understanding the 3 session types and how each of them are going to play a very vital role to helping you do your HYROX is very, very crucial. So again, if you're someone who right now as well is doing 3 runs a week and you're doing no strength training and you're doing HYROX and you think that I don't need to do strength because it's a running event, you've got it wrong, right? You need to be doing strength training. If you're someone who's like really, really strong and you're not doing much running and you're like, yeah, but I'll be fine. Well, yeah, you will be fine, but it depends on your goal. It's like you might be neglecting the run. So you should be adding in a run a week, right? And same, if you're just doing HYROX specific training, so if you're just doing HIIT training 3 to 4 times a week, you are going to have weaknesses because you are not working on your endurance and you are not working purely on strength, even though they come together in the middle, but you won't be able to then progress them and improve the potential in each of these areas, right? Again, the best of the best know that they got to do endurance separate, they got to do some strength separate, and they got to bring it together. You can't just do HYROX to get better at HYROX. You've got to work on the principles, on the pillars. And then by doing this, you actually create nice variety in your training. And funny enough, right, you actually make faster progress by seeming to do less. It's like, well, I do 1 run a week, 1 strength, 1 HYROX, and whoa, like my HYROX, that 1 HYROX session I do every week, I'm just getting, I've got a bigger tank. I'm getting faster. I'm not fatiguing as quick. Why is this? Because we're working on these areas. All right, it's that simple, guys. That simple. All right, so once we do this, you got to find consistency. So don't rush the progress. All right, this is a big thing. Now that we've got like this training plan, we've got the 3 runs. What people then do is they try and make too much progress. So they try to go from a 20-minute run to a 30 to a 40 to a 50-minute run all in the space of 4 weeks, right? Or if they're doing a high intensity session, they're just trying to push too hard, too fast. If they're lifting weights, they're trying to add more and more weight too quick in a shorter period of time. What I always do, and this is a principle that I'd love to share with you, is I look at 4-week blocks as a minimum. Okay, so if I set a structure, I'm looking to repeat that structure for at least 4 weeks, 4 to 8 weeks, right? Even better, because this allows us, week 1, we're learning the new workout. So imagine we just got a new workout. Week 2, we can repeat that same workout and now improve on last week's time. So we actually get to refine our skill, make measurable progress. By week 3, now we're really confident in our ability to do that workout. So we can express more energy and we can also improve on those workouts. And then by the 4th week, you are fully adapted to that stimulus. Now, I'm not saying everything has to be absolutely identical, but that approach, right? Understanding that following the same thing over 4 weeks is much better than having too much variety and everything brand new every single week. And you might lead, I'm training really hard, I'm exerting, but why am I not adapting? Why am I not making the progress? It's because there's too much variety. There's too much change, okay? Your body needs time to get good at something, all right? So if you're running, run 20 minutes this week, run 20 minutes the next week, 20 minutes the week after, 20 minutes the week after. What I guarantee will happen over those 4 weeks is that your efficiency, your technique, right, your ability to run will improve drastically. By that 4th week, that 20-minute run will be so easy. Now, with all that new efficiency, new fitness that you have, now when you go to 30 minutes, your body can handle it very easily versus going 20, 25, 30, 35, you might just be pushing your body and stretching it the whole way through, which might not actually mean you're, learning how to run more efficiently or working on your technique, so forth. All right. Hopefully that makes sense. And that applies to everything else, the strength training and the HIIT training as well. All right. So consistency, just stick to one plan, be consistent at it for 4 weeks, right? Then you can make tweaks. You be consistent at that for 4 weeks. Then you make tweaks 4 weeks there. That is a great 12-week training cycle. Okay. Simple as that. Okay. Last tip here. Okay. Because I've given you the golden nuggets, right? You've got it. You've actually now got all the things you need. It's not any more complicated than that, guys. Serious. Okay. Now, the last thing here, right? Again, if you're someone who is unsure, all those points that we covered earlier, if you're someone you're trying to figure it out, you're trying to piece it all together, you might be making this one crucial error, right? And that is just not reaching out and asking for help. Okay. So, like, who are most people that are doing HYROX? Like, you've got a career, you're a busy mum, you've got a family, you're in a relationship, you've got dogs, you've got all these things around you. You know, you're not necessarily a personal trainer, a HYROX performance coach. Like, this is not your area of expertise, nor should it be, right? So if you are wanting to excel and if you're wondering why you're a bit confused or there's overwhelm, what you can do is you can just reach out. So obviously, like us here at HYROX Heroes, we are pumping out content to help you and to get the understanding. We're doing these calls, we're doing everything. But sometimes, again, if this is like still not enough and still you're a bit confused or still you're not seeing the progress you want, like, this is my invite to you to reach out to us and we are here to help you, right? So you might need help with just programming, getting on a program. We have like a full range of programs for everybody that we make a step-by-step process to get you in shape. We have video tutorials. There's a lot of things there. You might even have a friend, right? So this is not me just plugging us. You might have a friend that's doing it. Go reach out to them, see what they do. You know, don't feel like you need to do this alone. And I would dare say that doing HYROX, one of the best things about this whole HYROX process is you get to do it with your friends. You get to do it with people and you get to learn and you get to be motivated by them, right? So again, making sure that you're reaching out to people who are doing what you want to do, potentially better than what you are doing, so you can learn from them and you can be around them and they can support you and help you grow. But again, that's why we're here at HYROX Heroes. So again, you can reach out to us, you can send us a message. Not only can we give you advice and we share lots of information here in the free group, but if you're wanting to go next level, if you're wanting a structure, if you're wanting a plan, if you're wanting a proven system that's just, you know, for you literally just to follow step by step, we're going to do all the thinking for you. We just give it to you. We check in with you. We see how you're going. We answer your questions. We coach you. We support you and guide you along the way. We have that as well. We have that as well. It does cost money, obviously, and it's like less than 20 bucks a week. So it's super affordable. It is everything. But if you're looking for that, if you're not, you can literally take these principles that I've just shared with you today. Like, these are golden principles. These alone, if you put this in place, I guarantee you will set an amazing structure. You will make the progress you want in your HYROX. And I guarantee when you do your next HYROX, you'll just be like, I can't believe how effective that was. And I hope you apply it. And please let me know how you go, because I'd love to get that message from you. Be like, hey, Damo, I applied those principles. It changed my whole training and I got a great result. Thank you. That would be awesome. All right, guys, that's it. I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you for tuning in and listening. We'll see you on the next episode. We have our live webinar that you can jump on every week, 11 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. You can get access to that link via our free HYROX Heroes group. So if you're on the podcast, there is a link here to our group. If you're on YouTube, there's a link there. If you're in our free HYROX Heroes group, you're already here, so which is awesome. Guys, we'll see you on the next episode. Until then, keep training hard, and I'll see you all soon.